welcome back to my channel, and if you are new to my channel, welcome. I am back with another Real Housewives of Atlanta season 12 review. This review is for the reunion part 2. I did do a review for the reunion part 1, so if you did not see that, please go get all caught up on that. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you are notified whenever I upload a new video. And let's just get right into this review because so much went down in this second half of the reunion. So as you know, if you watched the first half of this reunion, Porsha had said that she had text messages from Kenya talking trash about Cynthia, saying that she was going to get Cynthia and that Cynthia's time is coming at some point. And so Porsha decides to bring up these text messages during the reunion, and Andy wants to know if it's true, so he has her send him those text messages. And in the beginning of the second half of the reunion, Andy ends up reading these text messages, and basically what Kenya said in the text messages was that she thinks that, you know, Cynthia's hypnotized by Eva and that Cynthia doesn't defend her against Eva. And, you know, that's basically what she said in those text messages. And to me, that wasn't that damaging. That's her opinion. She feels like, you know, Cynthia maybe treats Eva better than she treats her. That's her opinion. She has a right to that opinion. I didn't think that those text messages were that big of a deal. I honestly think that Porsha made it seem bigger than what it actually was. And to me, Porsha's a little bit of a liar. Because she kind of fabricated it a little bit, because in the first half of the reunion, she said that in the text messages, Kenya was saying that she was going to get Cynthia. And then in this second half of the reunion, she was saying that she had a phone conversation with Kenya where Kenya said she was going to get Cynthia. So to me, it didn't make any sense. I don't even think that Porsha even had a reason to pull these text messages out. And to me, like I said in my last review, which a lot of other people I don't think agreed with me on this, but I feel like it makes Porsha look worse than it makes Kenya look, because her and Kenya were cool at the time. And, you know, Porsha baited her into that conversation about the whole Eva and Cynthia thing because she asked her a question about it. And that's the reason why Kenya had responded to her. So to me, it almost seems like Porsha was only asking Kenya how she felt about it because she wanted to use those text messages against her at some point. Kenya is definitely not innocent, but it makes Porsha look like a little bit of a snake, because all the ladies should probably tread lightly when it comes to having a conversation in text messages with Porsha, or be very careful about what they say around her, because once she gets annoyed at you, she may pull those text messages out and try to use them against you. So I really think that it made Porsha look like she's a little bit of a snake and not really somebody who you can really trust. Now, Cynthia seemed like she didn't really give a damn about those text messages. They weren't really damaging. Like I said, they weren't. That's why I don't understand Porsha even bringing those text messages out. It really didn't necessarily prove anything. Everybody already knows that Cynthia and Kenya have a weird friendship with each other. To me, they're more frenemies than actual friends. But, you know, Cynthia said that it's normal in this group. One season, everybody could be cool with each other. The next season, people who were cool won't be cool anymore. It's something normal. And basically, she said she's friends with both Kenya and Eva, and she could care less if they don't like each other, because that has absolutely nothing to do with her, which is absolutely true. Cynthia was also asked about her friendship with Nene, and basically she said that her and Nene have hurt each other, and she felt like the reason why she got into it with Nene is because Nene wouldn't take accountability for the things that she did and said that contributed to their friendship falling apart. And then Nene said that basically it's going to be baby steps with her and Cynthia being friends. I honestly think that they should just stop trying to be friends, because I think that their friendship is already damaged and it will never be the same. I think they can be acquaintances, but as far as getting their friendship back on track, I honestly don't think that that's going to happen. Too many things have been said and done to where there's really no coming back from it. Now, they end up showing clips of the ladies being moms this season, because obviously we know that Kandi ended up having a baby, Eva did, and so did both Kenya and Porsha. Now, they asked Cynthia, because a fan asked Cynthia why she was talking about having a baby with Mike, and they wanted to know if she was serious about it. She said she wasn't serious about it. It was just a joke, but that she has a really good relationship with Mike's two daughters, and that, you know, even though one of his daughters seemed like she wasn't too fond of Cynthia because of the comments that Mike had made in front of her at the little party that they had at the house, her and his daughter are back on track again, and everything seems to be working out. And I'm glad she's not trying to have any more kids. I think her and Mike should just enjoy their marriage and just live it up with each other. All their kids are grown. I don't think they need to bring another baby into the world at all. Now, Nene was talking about how she feels like Marlo has changed since she has started taking care of her nephews. And I think it's great if she changed when it came to how she treats her family and, how great of a relationship she has with her nephews. But when it comes to the show and it comes to this circle of ladies, Marlo definitely has not changed. She's still as messy as she's ever been. And I don't really like her, although she does bring some form of entertainment to the show. I don't see how she's changed at all. But obviously Nene knows her in real life, so maybe she has changed at some point. Now, they end up talking about how Kenya and Porsha had bonded over both having babies. And Porsha said that, the two of them did become close, but that she had to call Kenya out in her interviews a few times because she felt like Kenya was doing the same old bullshit she was doing before. Now, I feel like Porsha was aggravating me throughout this entire reunion because for me, I saw a switch in Porsha once her and Nene got back together again and became cool. That's when she started switching up on people who she usually wouldn't have issues with because she got back friends with Nene. Like I said before, she was acting like Nene's little attack dog throughout this reunion, always jumping in issues that Nene had when she should probably stay out of it because her and Nene just became back cool again. And so for her to say that the reason why she made comments calling out Kenya was because she saw her doing her same old bullshit. Well, we all know that Kenya's not going to change. Kenya's always going to take shots at people and be shady and be messy. So is Porsha. That's not going to necessarily change, but I do think that there was a switch with Porsha and how she treated Kenya once she became friends with Nene again. So they talk about Kenya fabricating that story about Shamia contacting her before Porsha when she was in labor. And Kenya, I guess, posted some form of a receipt before to prove that she wasn't lying about the situation. But Porsha said that Shamia called Kenya a liar and that wasn't how the situation went at all. I believe Shamia. I don't think the situation went down the way that Kenya tried to make it seem like it went down. I think she was trying to make Porsha feel some type of way by claiming that Shamia contacted her first when she was in labor because she knows that Porsha and Shamia are best friends. I feel like that's just something that Kenya and Shamir are going to have to talk about together off camera. To me, it wasn't that big of a deal, but obviously Porsha and Shamir have a real friendship outside of the show. So obviously Porsha was going to feel some type of way when Kenya said that Shamir contacted her first when she was having a baby. So they start talking about how Kenya crashed Marlo's wig event, okay, which I thought was funny. I laughed because she literally came in there with a marching band and she came there with her own hair care products to this woman's wig event. So to me, I thought it was funny, and I feel like if Marlo can dish it, she should absolutely be able to take it. Same with Kenya. If you can dish it, you should absolutely be able to take it. Now, Kenya said that the reason why she crashed Marlo's wig event was because Marlo took shots at her hair care line at the Bailey Q. And this is why I say that some of the ladies act like they have short-term memory loss, because they were trying to say that Marlo didn't take shots at Kenya's hair care line at the Bailey Q, but then they ended up showing a clip of her doing the exact same thing that she claimed she did not do. So that's the reason why Kenya did what she did. Do I think that Kenya should do it ever again? No, because she wouldn't like it for it to be done to her. But do I think that it made for a more interesting episode? Yes, I do. Now, Kenya said that the reason why she doesn't have respect for Marlo is because Marlo talked about her relationship that she has with her mom, and everybody knows that Kenya and her mom don't necessarily have a relationship with each other, and so that's a very sensitive topic, and Marlo knew all about that, and that's the reason why she tried to use it against Kenya in an argument to hurt her, and so that's the reason why Kenya does not respect Marlo. Now, Marlo tried to say that she said that years ago, so it shouldn't be relevant anymore that she said it. But Kenya said that Marlo said it again at her wig event, and Marlo once again tried to say that she did not say it, and then they ended up showing the clip as proof that she did bring it up again at the wig event. So they need to probably start watching the season back to remember the things that they say before they say that they did not say it. So Nene and Kenya ended up getting into a little bit of a back and forth because Andy asked Nene if she still believed that Kenya deserved for her marriage to end, because that's what Nene said during the season. And Nene did not answer the question. She literally just sat there like she was ready for the reunion to be over because she didn't want to be there anyway because she felt like everybody was coming at her. So she didn't answer the question. And so Kenya came up and asked Nene, well, did you deserve for Greg to be sleeping with women who you guys employ because that's what it said in the blogs that he was doing. And so basically she said yes. She said that she deserved it. And I was surprised that Nene even answered that stupid question, because honestly, I feel like she shouldn't have answered it. She should have just left it alone, but she answered it anyway. And basically she took a shot at Kenya, saying that Kenya needs to be worried about what Mark is doing and not what Greg is doing, because Mark is probably out here sleeping with everybody. And basically Kenya said that it doesn't matter what Mark is doing and who he's sleeping with, because the two of them are separated, so basically he can do whatever they want. The two of them going at each other is really starting to get old. I hope the next season is not the two of them going at each other's throats. Honestly, I feel like it would be more interesting if they added maybe Phaedra or Sheree back to the season. Take Tanya out, because to me, Tanya didn't really bring anything to the show. So they start talking about the beef between Tanya and Kenya that got really messy this season. What happened was Tanya had threw a girls' trip in Toronto, and in the last night that they were there, they all went out to dinner, and Kenya said to the ladies at the table that if any of their men were cheating, would they want to know about it? And those comments were being directed at Tanya, although Tanya did not know that those comments were being directed to her until Cynthia told her before they left Toronto that the comments were being directed towards her, okay? So when they left Toronto, I guess Kenya had left a package in her hotel room, and she contacted Tanya and asked her if she could bring it back to her, and what was in it was a wig. And so Tanya ended up going on a spa day with some of the ladies, and she ended up pulling out Kenya's wig. And because that got back to Kenya, Kenya got pissed off about it, because she felt like that was her trying to mess with her hair care line business, because she's known for having really long, healthy, natural hair, and she felt like her pulling out the wig was trying to discredit her business. And so she had an issue with that. And so her, Cynthia, and Eva went out to lunch, and they invited Tanya to come. And nobody knew that Kenya invited this cookie lady who said that Paul was trying to get with her, Paul being Tanya's man. And she showed up to this little lunch that they had to tell Tanya what happened with Paul. And it got really messy and really ugly really quickly. Now, at the reunion, Kenya tried to say that she was not directing those cheating comments towards Tanya at first, but Tanya was not buying it, because she said some of the other ladies that were there knew that, Kenya was talking about her. And she said that Kandi and Cynthia were the ones who knew about it. Now, Kandi said that at first she thought that Kenya was talking about Todd, as well as Porsha. Porsha thought that, the comments were being directed to her about Dennis, because we all know his reputation. And so that whole situation got ugly really quickly, to the point where, Kenya ended up calling Tanya the C word. She apologized to Tanya about that at the reunion, but Tanya seemed to not accept that apology. And so I don't think it's going to get any better between the two of them. I don't really feel like Tanya brought much to the show, to be honest with you. I think she could easily be replaced, because the only hot thing that happened this season with her was this whole cookie lady situation. And so basically Tanya is not cool with Kenya. She basically said that the reason why Kenya was trying to come for her relationship is because hers was falling apart. Now, Porsha was being really messy during this reunion, because she had asked Tanya if she thought that Kenya brought the cookie lady to that little lunch that they had on her own without the help of any other ladies. And I think that she was implying that Cynthia was the one that, conspired with her to get the cookie lady in front of Tanya so that she could tell her what happened with Paul. And basically, Kenya said that, Cynthia didn't have anything to do with her bringing the cookie lady there. But they showed a clip of Cynthia saying that she did try to get the cookie lady to come to Kenya's daughter's birthday party, because she knew Tanya was going to be there and she was going to be able to tell Tanya what happened. So basically, Cynthia was being a little bit messy in that situation as well. But at the same time, Kenya is the one who brought the lady to the lunch that they had to confront Tanya with the information about Paul. So to be honest with you, Kenya basically worked on her own when it came to that, because she's the one who actually went through with it. And that's the same thing that Tanya said. She said that, Cynthia came to her and told her that those comments about the cheating thing were directed at her. And so she has some form of respect for Cynthia, although she has absolutely none for Kenya. Do I think that Kenya goes too far sometimes with her messiness? Yes, I think that all the ladies go too far sometimes. And obviously prying into somebody's relationship is not really the way to go. I think that they should all probably stay out of each other's relationships, which is funny because Kandi's usually the one involved in somebody's relationship drama, and this season she kind of stayed out of it. They ended up asking Kandi why she had no comment about the whole cookie lady situation, and she said that basically she wasn't trying to get involved in anybody's relationships because in previous seasons she has gotten involved in other people's relationship situations and it hasn't ended well for her. That happened between her and Porsha at one point, and so she just didn't want to make those mistakes again, and so she stayed completely out of it. She also said that she doesn't know Tanya like that to be getting involved in her business, and also she was not there when the whole situation went down with the cookie lady, so how could she really have something to say about it? She said that if she was there, she probably would have told Kenya that she was wrong for inviting that woman down there, but she also feels like Tanya needs to learn how to fight her own battles because all the other ladies have had to do that at some point in time, and I completely agree with Kandi. Kandi has been involved in people's issues a lot to where she's got caught smack dab in the middle of certain situations. So I think it was best for her to stay out of it. And at the same time, I also agree with her that Tanya needs to fight her own battles. She needs to make her way and make her spot on the show and not just think it's just going to be handed to her. Because to me, she didn't really bring that much to the show. That's why I said they could bring somebody like Phaedra back and maybe make the show a little bit more interesting. Because to me, Tanya didn't really make her mark, really. So they end up asking Eva about her daughter Marley's name change because she changed her daughter's last name from McCall, who is her biological father's last name, to Sterling, who is, Eva's new husband's last name. And she basically said that she was happy to change her daughter's last name and that Kevin McCall tried to get the name change reversed. And he also tried to get custody of their daughter. And he ended up acting a fool the day that all this stuff was supposed to go down. And so it didn't end up happening. And so she's just living her life happy with her family. Now they end up asking her about, her relationship with him. Was it a long relationship? Were you guys serious? And she basically said that they were not serious about each other. They were just having a good time, young, doing their thing, and she ended up getting pregnant. And then he started to become abusive to her to the point where she had to get out of that situation. Now for me, I don't feel bad that she changed her daughter's last name from McCall to Sterling because I saw him publicly disown their daughter on social media, and for me that was enough for her to be able to change the daughter's last name. Maybe at some point, if he gets some type of help and he really changes for the better, maybe at some point he can have a relationship for their daughter. But for right now, I think it's best for Marley and for Eva to stay far away from him as possible. She had a breakdown after having the conversation about him, and she took a little breather from the reunion. So they start talking about Porsha and Dennis's relationship. Obviously, they broke up because she found out that he was cheating on her while she was pregnant, but they ended up getting back together again on this season of the show. He showed up in Toronto and gave her ring back, and so the two of them got re-engaged with each other, which I definitely was not a fan of because I feel like they have a lot more things to work on before they decide to even think about walking down the aisle with each other. Not just that, as they've been arguing about a prenup and whether or not to even have a big wedding because he feels like there's going to be a lot of fake people who don't necessarily give a damn about their relationship being there, and he's not all for that. So that's something else that they need to work out in their relationship. Now they are together right now, and she said that they have been quarantined together and everything's been going good, but Andy ended up bringing up how there was rumors going around that Dennis was seen at 4 a.m. with 4 women out to eat, and she said that she knew about it and she was bothered by it, and she confronted Dennis about it, and he admitted that he was wrong for doing so. So we'll see what happens with their relationship, throughout the rest of the summer because, obviously the show's over, but I'm pretty sure they'll be in the blogs again at some point, which they need to get that together because they do have a daughter with one another. I end up asking Kandi about why she stayed out of Porsha and Dennis's relationship business. She really didn't have any comments to make when it came to their relationship, and she said that the reason why she did that was because her and Porsha have had their issues the past few seasons, and they've been trying to get their friendship back on track. And also, Porsha has had issues with Kandi in the past about her getting involved in her relationships, and so Kandi decided to stay completely out of it and said that she kind of understood why Porsha didn't really want to talk about her relationship with Dennis too much when it came to the ladies because of all the embarrassing rumors that were going on about Dennis. So once Kandi said that, that triggered something in Nene, and Nene said that if Kandi can understand why Porsha doesn't really want to discuss her relationship with Dennis with the ladies, then Kandi should understand why she doesn't want to discuss her relationship with Wendy Williams around the ladies either. And everyone was confused, including Andy, because it was just like, how are you going to try to make the connection between those two relationships relationships when they're completely different. Porsha and Dennis are engaged and they have a child together. That's a different type of relationship than her fake friendship with Wendy Williams. So to me, I didn't understand why she brought that up, but she was definitely triggered to the point where her and Kandi started having a back and forth with each other. And at one point, they ended up getting muted because they just wouldn't shut up. The other ladies had to try to tell them through sign language that they were muted because they still continued to yell at each other while nobody can hear what the hell they were saying. Nene and Kandi continue to argue for the remainder of the reunion because of the fact that Nene made a YouTube video talking about how it was unfair to some of the other ladies on the show, that the same ladies over and over again keep on getting spin-off shows. And Kandi obviously thought that Nene was directing those comments at her because she's had more spin-offs than any other lady on this show besides Kim. And Kim is not on The Real Housewives of Atlanta anymore, and she hasn't been for quite some time. So I honestly don't believe that Nene was directing those comments at Kim. So obviously, Kandi's going to think she's talking about her. And plus, it was around the time that Kandi was doing production for her new spinoff show. So to be honest with you, I believe Kandi. I think that Nene was directing those comments at her. Now, they tried to move on to a different subject. They tried to talk about Kenya and Cynthia at the end of this reunion, but Nene kept running her mouth off the remainder of the time. She kept calling everybody haters, and then she ended up closing her computer screen. Now, I thought that she closed her computer screen because she was tired of arguing with Kandi, but then when they showed the previews of the part 3 of the reunion, we see that Yovana is actually there. And so I'm thinking that maybe it's because Yovana's going to be there as the reason why Nene decided to, take a step away from the reunion. So part 2 of the reunion ended there. I thought it was a really good part 2 to the reunion, but I'm interested to see what happens in part 3 because I know that Yovana is going to be a part of it, and I want to see what she has to say about the whole Snakegate situation because I know her and Nene have been having a back and forth on social media about the whole situation, and some receipts have been dropped. So let me know what you guys thought about part 2 of the reunion down in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button for me. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos, and hit that notification bell so that you are notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you to all my subscribers for the support. I appreciate you all. And until next time, I will see you guys in my next video.